Welcome back, my dear friends, to TEDS. Good morning to each and every one of you. The topic that we are handling today is power dressing for interview and grooming. See, there had been too many people talking too many things, and there are two things about dress code. One part of people talk about gone are the days people need to come in formal dress code. Even I have seen, when I have gone to one of the big IT company in Pune, I have seen even people coming in shorts. And people also have a kind of a thought in their mind, gone are the days people are recruiting looking at the dress code of a person. The work matters a lot. But there are some other IT companies, the giants, where till Thursday it's a formal dress code. Only on Friday people can come in any kind of a dress code they want. Decent dress code. They can come in t-shirts. And some companies don't even allow shorts. With shorts they are not allowed inside. So it is different for different companies. But when you take mechanical engineering or any kind of engineering companies, core companies, they even have dress code. They even have uniforms. They are supposed to come only in the given uniform of the workers. So there are two things. One, do we need to have dress code for interview, formal dress code? The other one, some people say you don't require dress code. But when you are talking about interview, people give importance to the dress code a person comes with. You cannot simply walk in with any kind of a dress that you want to wear on an interview day. As far as my knowledge and experience goes with the industry, personal, whomever I have interacted with, the dress code is important for any interview. What are you supposed to wear for an interview? Let's see. See, I have come in full suit today. Do you need to go with full suit? I say no, not required. Are you supposed to wear this tie? Not required. Simple. A well ironed, well washed ironed dress is fine. Maybe the top needs to be, your shirt needs to be on a lighter shade and the trousers needs to be on the darker shade. That's what normally we call as formal dress code. When you are coming for an interview, it's not required that you should wear a tie or you should wear a suit. But in case if you are wearing, and you should know how to wear it. People are even, I used to even tell my friends, my students, come properly dressed, neatly take bath first, comb your hair, trim your hairs, and wear a light colored shirt, well ironed, well washed first and well ironed, and with a proper dark color trousers that is suiting to that shirt that you are wearing. Fine. But when you are wearing a tie, how to wear a tie? When you are wearing a suit, how to wear a suit is a big question mark. See, you have different types of knots that you use for your tie. I have already said it's not required to have a tie, but in case if you are going for a tie, wear it proper. Tie, even with a kind of an example, kind of an experience I have seen with my own friends coming for an interview, people wear a tie, they don't even buckle up, they don't even button up their collar. The buttons are not up and the tie sometimes hangs here. You are not supposed to do that. If you are wearing a tie, put your collar button up properly and pull your tie tight to your neck. It should not hang in between. And what should be the length of the tie? That everyone knows. We talk about it, but we don't give that much of an importance. The tip of the tip of the tie should touch the starting point of the buckle of your belt. It should not hang below, or it should not hang above to the belt. See, I see sometimes people wearing a tie, the tie below their belt, and some people even have it just to their stomach. It looks very odd. It's not necessary that you should wear a tie, that's fine. But when you are wearing a tie, you should know how to wear a tie. And most of the time I have seen, see, you have a small, the other part of the tie which needs to come inside, and you should make it sure it doesn't go beyond the normal front page of the front flip of the tie. It should not hang below that. It should be well inside. It should not be seen outside. So these are the few points that you need to also take into consideration when you are wearing a tie. We have single knot and double knot. When we are talking about any official and formal dress code, it is better you have a double knot tied. What about single knot? It doesn't look that appealing. It's not that formal. Unless and until you are 6.5 and above, you are so tall, you are not able to tie a double knot on your tie, then you can opt for your single knot. Fine. That is about wearing a tie. If you are wearing a tie, wear it properly, tie it properly. Another one we talk about, this is called tie pin. Where are we supposed to wear this tie pin? So you have the first button, second, third and fourth. So it should be pinned between third and the fourth of your shirt. And most importantly, it should be pinned, the tie should be pinned with your shirt and it should look straight. I have seen some people wearing a tie pin here. I have seen even at the end near their belly they wear it. And I have seen so many people just wearing it here, it is not being clipped with their shirt. That is wrong. The importance, the objective of wearing a tie pin is the tie should not move forward and move around or hang around or move sideways. It needs to be pinned with your shirt. That is the importance, that is the objective of using a tie pin. So my dear friends, that's fine. You can also use, this is called cufflinks. These cufflinks, you can use it. See, if you are going for a ready-made shirt, it may not be available. When you are going for a tailor-made shirt, you can tell your tailor, I need a provision for cufflinks. Cufflinks are also important in case if you are going ahead with a cufflink, it looks more professional. It's not the hard and fast rule that you should wear a cufflink, not required, but if you are having a cufflink and if you are wearing a full suit, it gives a kind of a better look. Okay, fine. How to wear a suit? That's a $1 million question. I have already said it's not required to have a suit first of all. In case if you want to go ahead with a full suit, my dear friends, don't go with two colors. Don't wear only a blazer. It needs to be a kind of a full suit. Blazer looks very informal. And I have seen people coming in, maybe this blazer on, the coat is on, and the trousers are in a very light colors or a different colors. And they come with tie also. It looks really not suiting. It doesn't appeal. It doesn't give you a professional look. When you are going for a full suit, make sure your shirt, your blazer, your coat and your trousers are of the same material and the same color. And when you are wearing it's better to go for single breast rather than double breast. And most of the people I have seen, they normally wear this both the buttons. You are not supposed to wear both the buttons. This button on the top needs to be buttoned and the lower one needs to be unbuttoned. This is the kind of a formal dress code. You are not supposed to wear the down button. The second button that you have it in your coat, you are not supposed to wear it. When you want to wear a button, just go with one button up. And if you are not comfortable, leave it. That is not required. And I have seen so many times people wearing the second button and leaving the first button off, so that it looks very odd. It opens up more space here. You are not supposed to do that. So remember, to be professional, if you want to wear a full suit, wear it like a professional. And something, you have something called pocket square. Not required, but most of the places, if you are wearing it, it gives you an added advantage. It gives you a kind of a real professional look. Mostly we get it with a tie itself. Maybe a bit more costly, but if you are able to get the cufflinks, tie and the pocket square in one batch, it is much better, because it gives a kind of a same kind of a similar color is found in the pocket square also. So pocket squares should always go with the tie that you are wearing. The color of the tie and the pocket square should match. Or there is another one also. In case if you don't have a pocket square matching to your tie, it should match with your dress, the shirt that you are wearing inside. Or even when you are going for making your tailoring your shirt, you can ask the tailor to make a pocket square with the same kind of a material, which will be very easy for you. So now we have also seen about the dress code, the full suit that you are supposed to wear. In case if you are going with a full suit with a tie pin and with a pocket square, it looks really great. There are two things that I have missed out here. One is about the belt and the other one is about the shoes. What should determine the color of your shoe? Most of the people say it is the trousers. No, it is not the trousers that determines the color of your shoes. It is rather the belt that you are wearing determines the color of the shoe. If you are wearing a brown color belt, you are supposed to wear a brown shoes. If you are wearing a black color belt, you are supposed to wear black color shoes. So the color of the shoes is determined by the belt, not by your trousers. And my dear friends, what should be the color of the socks? The color of the socks must be at par with the color of your trousers. If you are wearing a black color trousers, better to wear a black color socks. Brown, better to wear a brown. Or any other color, try to match your socks color with the trousers. And that is much better. And even now, there are so many various types of socks that you have. Ankle length, the pull-up socks, and the palm, the socks that covers only the palm. When you are coming for official kind of a purpose, it is better to come with ankle length at least, but the proper one would be the normal socks which comes up to your calves. So my dear friends, these are a few small techniques which helps you to come proper. And my dears, when I am talking about shoes, please ensure you polish your shoes. It should be a every day. okay, not only for interviews, but you need to polish your shoes before you wear it. But when you are coming for an interview, it becomes the must aspect. You are supposed to polish your shoes really well. And most of the HRs and people, even the psychologist, they look at your legs first. The way you keep your legs tells about your own character. If you are keeping your shoes clean, it tells that you are clean. So that too has a kind of a relationship in psychology. So when you are coming for interview, polish your shoes properly and come well dressed. Now let me talk about a basic grooming. I am not against people. I don't have a beard and mush. I am not against people having beard and mush. But if you are growing beard, keep it. I don't mind. But trim it properly. Trim your beard and mush properly, and it should look in shape, proper shape, and it should add value to the personality that you are. But in case you don't have the habit of having a beard, don't please come with even a single day unshaved. That doesn't add value. That gives a negative connotation about your own characteristics. As a kind of a HR, what I'll think, if a person has come with 1 or 2 day beard, he has not shaved for the interview, I normally think he is not that serious about the interview that is happening today. He is not that serious about the job, obtaining a job. So, come properly groomed. Another important message: whatever hair which is not required needs to be trimmed, whether it is there in your armpit or anywhere. Keep yourself neat. Otherwise, you start perspiring more because of the tension that you have it in the interview panel, and it starts giving a bad smell. The bad odor that comes out from your body needs to be also taken into consideration. So, trim yourself, shave whatever unwanted hair that you have, and apply some proper perfume. That is also very important. When you are coming into a interview panel, the fragrance that needs to give each and everyone, everyone should feel good about it. No one should feel bad about the kind of a smell that you have. So you would be a better judge for yourself. So my dear friends, so these are a small grooming that I just wanted to tell you when you are going for an interview that you need to focus on. Keep your nails cut properly. And in case you have a problem with your stomach and that bad odor comes from your mouth, it's better to have a mouthwash. Before getting into an interview panel, just wash your mouth and get in. Have some mints. That will enhance your confidence level, as well as that will help you much better in doing your interview very well. So my dear friends, this is what I have got to tell you today. Maybe in the next week, next Sunday, let us catch up with another topic. Thank you.